Venezuelan Navy escorts cocaine freighters. Venezuelan territorial waters. U.S. destroyer detects vessel, tuna fishing boat, 9 crew members, suspicious behavior, boarding ordered. Coast Guard team approaches. Inspection begins. Standard interdiction protocol. Then Venezuelan Navy arrives. Warships close in. Escorts surround fishing boat. Message clear, hands off. U.S. destroyer releases vessel. Venezuelan Navy escorts it away. International incident avoided. Precedent established. Cocaine trafficking now has military protection. Coast Guard spots vessel. Helicopter launches. Warning shots fired. Engines disabled. Boarding team arrests crew. Drugs seized. Prosecution follows. Law enforcement activity, not warfare. Operation Southern Spear shattered that distinction. August 2025, USS Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group deployed. 3 warships, 2,000 Marines, combat aircraft, largest Caribbean deployment since 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. November 2025, USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group arrived. Nuclear supercarrier, 90-plus aircraft, 5,000 personnel, destroyer escorts, cruiser support, full combat capability. Total deployment, 15,000 military personnel, 9 warships, strategic bombers, fighter squadrons, special operations forces, surveillance aircraft, attack helicopters. Not counter-narcotics, military operation. Trump administration stated goal, combat drug trafficking. Real objective, regime change. Venezuela responded predictably. Military protection for civilian vessels. State resources defending criminal activity. Armed escorts for cocaine freighters. Stay with me, because this escalation changed maritime rules forever. The September 12th incident revealed new reality. Venezuelan government wasn't just tolerating drug trafficking, actively protecting it. Naval assets deployed, warships escorting smugglers, military confrontation risked. Foreign Minister Ivan Gil's statement, illegal detention by U.S. destroyer, Venezuela will defend itself. Translation, we're protecting our boats, even drug boats. Challenge us at your peril. Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino López August announcement. Bolivarian Navy deployed to protect Venezuela's main oil hub. But protection extended beyond oil, included fishing vessels, cargo ships, any Venezuelan-flagged craft, regardless of cargo, regardless of mission. U.S. had designated Cartel de los Soles foreign terrorist organization November 24, 2025. Alleged leader, President Nicolás Maduro himself. Charges, narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, weapons smuggling. State Department designation meant Venezuelan government categorized as terrorist entity. Military targeting authorized. Regime assets legitimate targets. But Venezuelan Navy protecting vessels complicated calculus. Firing on smuggler boat, one thing. Engaging Venezuelan warship, different entirely. Risk escalation. Potential casualties. International crisis. Coast Guard faced impossible choice. Follow smuggler, risk confrontation with Venezuelan Navy. Let smuggler go, accept defeat. Neither option acceptable. Warfare signal analyzed escort pattern carefully. Not random, strategic, calculated. Venezuelan Navy limited escorts to territorial waters, within 12 nautical miles coastline. International law recognized sovereignty. U.S. couldn't engage without invasion justification. Smugglers modified tactics accordingly. Load cargo Venezuelan ports. Exit under naval protection. Cross into international waters. Speed away. Escorts return. Timing coordinated. Venezuelan Navy monitored U.S. positions. New destroyer locations. New Coast Guard patrols. Timed departures when U.S. assets distant. Once international waters, speed became advantage. Go fast boats, 80+ knots. Destroyers, 30 knots maximum. Cannot catch, cannot intercept without helicopter or drone strikes. How many people did Operation Southern Spear kill by December 31? A. 50. B. 115. C. 200. September SAC marked first lethal strike. Speedboat 17 miles off Venezuela. 4 outboard engines. 11 people aboard. MH-60R helicopter launched. Hellfire missile fired. Direct hit. Total destruction. 0 survivors. Trump released video. Black and white infrared. Boat racing. Sudden explosion. Fireball. Gone. 11 Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists eliminated, Trump announced. But evidence contradicted. Local families identified victims. Fishermen from San Juan de Unare. Low-level smugglers. Not terrorist leadership. Not cartel kingpins. November Washington Post revealed shocking detail. 2 men survived initial strike, clung to debris, waited rescue. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth allegedly issued verbal order to SEAL Team 6. Leave no survivors. Second strike launched. 2 survivors killed. No witnesses. No arrests. No intelligence. September 15th, second strike. 3 killed. Eastern Pacific. September 19th, third strike. 3 killed. Caribbean. Dominican Republic cooperated. 1,000 kilograms cocaine recovered. 377 packages. First joint operation. Precedent established. By December 31, 2025, 115 people killed, 35 strikes, 36 vessels destroyed. Not interdiction, assassination campaign. Legal experts unanimous. International law violated. UN law of sea disregarded. Vienna Convention ignored. Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act exceeded. These strikes not law enforcement, not authorized military action, extrajudicial killings. UN High Commissioner Human Rights condemned operations, called strikes violations right to life, demanded immediate cessation, called for investigation. China protested. Iran condemned. Cuba called it piracy. Colombia accused U.S. extrajudicial murder. Republican Senate twice rejected resolutions limiting Trump's authority. Military action continued. Escalation intensified. If military escorts drug runners, is it still smuggling or state-sponsored trafficking? Comment S or T. December escalation dramatic. U.S. announced naval quarantine. December 17, 2025. Sanctioned oil tankers targeted. Venezuelan petroleum exports blocked. December 10th. USS Gerald R. launched boarding operation. Target, oil tanker skipper. Sanctioned 2022. Alleged connections, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hezbollah. Global Dark Fleet. 10 Coast Guard personnel, 10 Marines, Special Operations soldiers, 2 helicopters, fast rope insertion, forced boarding, vessel seized. Skipper falsifying transponder data, fake GPS readings, false flag registration, claimed Guyanese registry, actually Iranian shadow fleet. Docked Iran twice July-September 2025, Hong Kong August, Venezuela multiple times, carrying sanctioned crude, evading detection, operating illegally. U.S. seizure immediate international backlash. Cuba called it maritime terrorism. China condemned violation international law. Iran termed it act of piracy. Venezuelan government furious. Called seizure international piracy. Filed UN Security Council complaint. Demanded vessel return. Threatened retaliation. Venezuelan Navy response. Escalate escort operations. Oil tankers carrying petroleum products. Naval protection. Within territorial waters only. But clear message sent. Attack our vessels. Face military response. Russian tanker Seahorse attempted naphtha delivery Venezuela. Product necessary export Venezuelan heavy crude. USS Stockdale intercepted. Multiple times forced back toward Cuba. Eventually reached Venezuela anyway. Naval escorts enabled delivery. Bolivarian Navy protected passage. U.S. destroyer couldn't engage Venezuelan warships without triggering wider conflict. Standoff developed. U.S. chasing tankers, Venezuela protecting vessels, neither side backing down, neither willing fight, stalemate. Tanker Bella 1 chase exemplified dilemma. Venezuela-linked vessel refused boarding, Coast Guard cutters shadowed, surveillance aircraft tracked, specialized boarding teams positioned. But vessel kept moving, stayed international waters, avoided territorial zones where Venezuela couldn't protect, timed movements around U.S. patrol gaps. Coast Guard commanders weighed options: force boarding, risk combat, continue chase, accept evasion. Both choices problematic. Success would demonstrate U.S. enforcement capability, show sanctions have teeth, deter future violations, prove distance not shield. Failure would encourage evasion, embolden sanctioned vessels, undermine enforcement credibility, demonstrate U.S. limitations. Rate U.S. response, effective deterrent or strategic overreach. Vote E or O. The military criminal fusion complete. Venezuela government protecting drug trafficking, naval assets defending smugglers, state resources enabling cartels. Evidence overwhelming. August 2025, Defense Minister announced naval protection for oil hub, really protecting all maritime operations, including drug routes. September 2025, naval escorts rescue detained fishing boat from U.S. destroyer. Precedent established. Military protection guaranteed. November 2025, Cartel de los Soles designated foreign terrorist organization. Maduro listed as leader. Venezuelan government categorized terrorist entity. December 2025, naval escorts expand to oil tankers. Protection includes sanctioned vessels. Military resources defending illegal exports. January 3, 2026, U.S. forces capture Maduro. Operation Absolute Resolve. Strikes on Caracas. Special Operations Raid. President extracted. Flown to U.S. charged in Southern District, New York. Indictment detailed. Maduro participates in, perpetuates, and protects culture of corruption, where powerful Venezuelan elites enrich themselves through drug trafficking and protection of partner drug traffickers. Coordination documented with Mexican Zetas, Sinaloa Cartel, Colombian ELN, FARC, Tren de Aragua, multinational criminal network, state-sponsored trafficking, government-level operation. Coast Guard treated these operations appropriately. Military threat, not law enforcement problem. Naval confrontation, not drug interdiction. Traditional Coast Guard tactics: pursuit, warning shots, boarding, arrest. Appropriate for civilian smugglers, inadequate for military-escorted operations. When Venezuelan Navy protects smuggler, becomes military mission. Naval engagement requires different rules, different authority, different force levels. September 12th incident proved this. Fishing boat detained. Venezuelan Navy intervened. U.S. destroyer released vessel. Avoided confrontation. Accepted tactical defeat. Alternative: engage Venezuelan Navy. Sink escort vessels. Seize fishing boat anyway. Trigger international incident. Risk broader war. No good options existed. Warfare signal recognizes brutal calculus. Coast Guard designed law enforcement, not naval warfare, not equipped engage foreign navies, not authorized sink warships. But Venezuela using Navy protect criminals, blurred law enforcement military lines, forced impossible choices, created no-win scenarios. U.S. response evolved accordingly. Destroyer intercepted vessels, traditional Coast Guard role. Venezuelan Navy intervened, tactical withdrawal. Drug boats left territorial waters. Hellfire strikes. Kill smugglers international waters. Avoid Venezuelan Navy territorial waters. Accept civilians killed. Ignore legal questions. Prioritize operational success. By December 31st, 115 dead. 0 arrests, 0 prosecutions, 0 organizational disruption. But clear message sent: leave Venezuelan waters, die in international waters. Deterrent value questionable. Miami Herald. October report: U.S. effort effectively shut down Caribbean route. Estimated 3,500 tons annual cocaine shipments disrupted. But overall, cocaine flow unchanged. Smugglers adapted. New routes established. Different transfer points. Alternative methodologies. Pacific routes expanded. Mexican trafficking increased. Land smuggling intensified. Maritime interdiction simply shifted transit corridors. And fentanyl crisis, stated justification for operation, completely unaffected. Fentanyl comes from Mexico, not Venezuela, not Caribbean, overland, through ports, via mail. Vanda Felbab Brown, Brookings Institution. Whatever actions taken in Caribbean have no effect on fentanyl. Translation: entire operation targeting wrong problem, killing wrong people, pursuing wrong objective. Final question: when governments protect drug traffickers with military force, how should democracies respond? The precedent established dangerous, state-level protection for criminal networks, military resources defending illegal operations, naval assets escorting cocaine freighters. Venezuela not unique, other nations watching, Iran protecting oil smugglers, Russia enabling sanction evasion, China facilitating precursor chemical exports, North Korea sponsoring cybercrime. State criminal fusion accelerating globally, governments partnering with traffickers, military protecting smugglers, sovereignty weaponized against enforcement. Traditional law enforcement inadequate, can't board protected vessels, can't arrest military-escorted criminals, can't prosecute state-sponsored trafficking. But military response equally problematic. Killing 115 people accomplished what? Disrupted which networks? Stopped which shipments? Created martyrs, fueled propaganda, united opposition, isolated U.S. diplomatically, violated international law, achieved regime change through invasion. And cocaine keeps flowing. Fentanyl keeps killing. Cartels keep operating. Networks keep adapting. Subscribe to Warfare Signal, where naval escorts protect cocaine freighters. Hit that like button if this analysis revealed state criminal fusion. Drop your thoughts in comments. Venezuelan Navy keeps escorting. U.S. Coast Guard keeps withdrawing. Hellfire missiles keep firing. Body count keeps rising. And nobody solved drug trafficking. Nobody stopped cartels. Nobody addressed addiction. Nobody fixed demand. Just traded law enforcement for warfare, replaced arrests with killings, substituted prosecution with regime change. Venezuela government toppled, Maduro captured, military occupation implied, oil reserves targeted.